made it to our last finance task. Kind of like the credit card task. So you're going to be mostly conducting your own research. However, instead of like reading, about it, would just be easier for us to pick our own cars and go through kind of all the financial stipulations. So what I'm going to do is kind of rock through an exemplar. I know with like open-ended tasks, it can be kind of daunting as to how you even approach it. So hopefully this exemplar helps. I would try to choose a different car. Otherwise, this is going to be pretty boring. You can pick whatever brand you like or whatever make you would like. So a Honda, a Kia, a Chevy, anything Tesla. Like it can be green. It can be obviously gas, like whatever you're honestly looking for is totally fine. Toyota Prius has pretty good hybrids, but for myself, I'm just going to stick to the exemplar. So the first question asks you, what is your dream car? You're going to pick a car, obviously, to research for this assignment. For myself, not necessarily saying Honda Civic's my dream car, just figured it's something that maybe everyone's seen before. So I'm going to ask you for your make or your model. Your make is like Honda, Kia, GMC, etc. So wherever your car obviously comes from, and then the model is like if it's a Civic, if it's a Cruise, if it's a Sierra truck, like it's it will be listed right next to the make. So first part, nice and easy, just one mark. You're just gonna pick something. Number 2, so I used to do this differently on a website, but that website unfortunately makes you put in information, and obviously now, and we don't want to do that. So you're just going to do a quick little Google search to approximate the following costs. Having said that, so your stuff might be different depending on if you have a green vehicle or not. So these are just suggested 5. If you're editing on a computer, you're free to change these. So like, I don't know, these are just a suggested 5. Like, let's say it was cost for gas. If you want to switch it out instead for like a charging station or something, you can do that. Otherwise, I would just leave these 5 in as is. I think it'll be a lot easier. Most of these items are relevant to any type of car you get. So all you're going to do is a quick Google search. So even here, I just pulled up oil change, Honda Civic price. We're ballparking, so this is like us doing like a rough, obviously, estimate. Think of it as like the preliminary stages when we're just starting to look for something, like if you ever look for like a computer and you're trying to price match it, or I don't know, for me it's even like food, I'm just trying to price match it. So we are just like gathering information before we do the secondary round of data collection, obviously. Obviously, in real life circumstance, you might look at like different cars, like gas in a Kia Forte compared to gas in like a Chevy Cobalt. Like it could be something like that. But for the sake of time and everything, just honestly pick one car. So yes, I know $100 seems like a lot for an oil change, but honestly, with synthetic and a lot of higher prices right now, that might be kind of relevant. So it says 100 to 113. I would just round accordingly. So when you're writing your amounts, like just ballpark it. Tires. Okay. Mine are cheap from Costco. $60 is usually the norm. I think it might have just went up to 70 when I don't do it myself. Yeah. Like wipers, you're just gonna ballpark it. So Costco has pretty good prices on wipers. Battery is going to depend on your car, yearly inspection, etc. So these are all just like little estimates. Okay, kind of like when you're budgeting, for post-secondary, right? Like it's going to obviously differ, depending on what some of your decisions you make. Same thing with purchasing a vehicle. Some of you might just do this and be like, I'm never going to drive. Like, I want to walk and subway and live in a city, and that's totally fine. This is not just about the car piece. This is also just like about general budgeting and things like that and how you make financial decisions. So, estimates only. We don't need like to the cent Yeah, that's totally fine. Just round to the nearest, even like $10 is fine. Number 3 is going on Auto Trader, and you're going to find a used version of the car. Having said that, there's a lot of cars out there that like they're driven, couple thousand kilometers, and something happens or people decide they don't want the car, so these are technically used, but they're like barely used. So you're going to list out the price and 3 unique features that are a part of that. So I'll hyperlink the Auto Trader website. I used to use something different, and I used to get like everyone to find like the insurance costs and everything based on your factors, but unfortunately now you have to leave like phone number, home address. It's not the best in terms of your safety, obviously, for information, but Auto Trader is pretty good. So same thing, you'll have your make and model. So I'm gonna look at my Honda, and for my model I'm looking at the Civic. And no, I'm not an expert on Honda Civics. I just randomly picked it. Okay, postal code. So this is the only piece of information that it asks for you. If you are not comfortable even putting like your home area, if you want to put in like your school's postal code or like a public place, or if you want to pick, I don't know, a random town, that's fine. I'm just going to put in my postal code. I mean, it covers like 50-ish kilometers all around, so yeah, I think for me, it's fine. However, if you want to obviously use, I don't know, like your school's postal code, that might feel a little bit safer from you. Never, ever, ever put in any other information. So here we go. Okay, so you're going to see stuff, like a lot of mine are coming up as Toronto, which is okay. I'm located about 100 kilometers, 50 kilometers, 70 kilometers from some of these cars. And you can just shift through. I wouldn't look at more than like 5 or 6 just for time's sake. But I'm thinking about it. And some of your decisions are going to be interesting because, okay, I could get a 2019 Honda Civic sedan, but it's still $21,000. So, I mean, for me, that seems a little steep. I'd probably keep looking for something, mostly with low kilometers, and honestly, mostly in good shape is what I would be looking for. So you're going to make your decision based on, what you value. For me, I put a ton of kilometers on because I'm always driving and traveling and doing all kinds of stuff. My car's basically at like 350,000 kilometers, comes everywhere with me. So I would probably pick something that is relatively low. Yeah, I know it's hard right now with used cars. Oh my gosh. This is opening my eyes. Okay, we are just going to, 27,000. Wow. Okay, let's say we pick this 2017 Honda Civic. 17 grand feels like a lot of money, but let's just look at it. So we're picking it. And some of the highlights, it has around 85,000 kilometers, 4-wheel drive, heated mirrors, keyless entry. So you can see the payment configuration if you're curious with the interest and stuff like that. You could play around with it if you want to. 163 bi-weekly is actually not too bad right now. It'll give you some intel and everything. It's going to have this little name, email, phone number thing on the side. You are not putting anything in there. Everything you need is just located right here. It won't tell you the seller information, which is good. It will just give you like a general oversight. So, this is my used version. So heated mirrors, that's really nice. Keyless entry, which is also nice. Probably some sort of fob. Backup camera, I don't even have that, so that's pretty cool. So when you are finding Auto Trader used version, so I would just write 2017 Honda Civic. I think it was 17,500. And then you can just list out some of those features. Other features could be like Bluetooth, if it comes with snow tires. Okay, you're asked for 3, so I think we said backup camera. Number 2, I forget what else it said. I think it was like around 85K kilometers. Something like that. Again, round, we don't need to the kilometer to the cent. And then the other piece, oh, it had keyless like fob entry, guess we'll say. Okay. Alternatively, if you want to go ahead and screenshot it and then you can just transfer it into your document, you can do that too. Or if you just want to even hyperlink it, like honestly, however you want to set that up is okay. So that's what you're looking at. Now, you are asked about the used version, so hopefully this makes sense up to here. And then you are asked to go to the dealer website of the same car. So whatever your make is, that's where you're going to go. So for me, I am going to go to the Honda website. Okay, it's coming up with all sorts of stuff. You can look at your local, like for me, it's coming up with Niagara-based Hondas. You can also just go to Honda Canada, okay, just like a general website. Province, I think putting in your province is probably fine for most people. Okay, that should all you should be asked for. So we're going to continue to Honda Mobile, or automobile, sorry, not mobile, gosh. Okay, so models. I'm going to go to models and I'm going to try to find my Civic. Right away, so there's a bunch of stuff that comes up. Like some of these I'm not even familiar with. So they have like a hatchback, they have an SI, sedan and hybrid. It doesn't matter which one you pick. Just you're trying to get a cost for the newest Civic. So if I do build and price, sure. Okay. So I'm just looking at, and they don't have to match perfectly. We just want one used Honda Civic and one new. So 2025, okay, Civic sedan goes for about 30K. I know they're not identical. I'm just picking like generically a Honda Civic. So I'm gonna go back. Most recent year is 2025, and I would say roughly about 30,000. That's it. That's all you need to do. Okay, using your financial knowledge, would you go with a new or used vehicle? Why did you make this selection? Give 2 reasons using your own thinking. Okay, some people are going to have different money values, and that's okay. For me, I don't have 30,000. So, I mean, based on the low kilometers for the 2017, that's probably what I would pick. You might pick the new one. And same reasoning as me, that you travel a lot and you take your car everywhere, and that just might be what is most important for you, right? So everyone's going to have their own thoughts about this. This question is really up to interpretation. Okay, for part B, and also, sorry, just give 2 reasons. So it could be cost, kilometers, it could be the features. Maybe you actually like the used version. What I find is sometimes the older versions, I don't know, I actually tend to like better. My favorite car I ever drove was like a 99, and it was like honestly indestructible. So that also might affect, if you have any knowledge of cars. I'm sure some of you know a lot more than I do. Part B is reflection. It's only worth 5 marks out of 20, so about a quarter. And it's just really reflecting on your selections. So it has questions pertaining to, were you being economical? Did you splurge? What are 2 deal breakers when choosing a vehicle? And deal breakers meaning that you would not choose to purchase a vehicle based on that. For example, let's say you're allergic, to dogs, and there's my dog in the car. That would be really sad, but if you were allergic to dogs, but a lot of people are, so maybe you can't buy a car that was previously driving around a puppy. Maybe you have to have an aux cord because you cannot have a non-functioning radio. It has to work. So you're going to have different deal breakers. And the last question, which also wraps into the financial decision making, which is honestly the main goal. The reality is you're going to have compound and simple interest calculators on you, right? And you're going to go through financing of stuff. And there's going to be applications and people to help support you. But the most important thing to take away, regardless of the academic value, is the overall like life value, I guess, is how you can reason within yourself, like how you can justify one purchase or one decision over another. So question 8 kind of ties back to that. Describe 2 ways on how you could lower your spending when choosing either the new or the used version of the vehicle. So for me, I know they're going to try to upsell me. So my thing is I would say no to any extras. Like I go in knowing that it's a no. If I want it later on, like I can figure it out or add it. But like I know they're just trying to sell me. So I'm like, no, I'm going in there, headstrong. I'm not saying yes to absolutely anything. Another thing is maybe you're going into the trades, right? So maybe you're someone who wants to be a mechanic. So you're going to like Google, honestly. I'm sure everyone's great at Googling and YouTubing. You're going to Google or YouTube like anything you possibly need for the car in terms of maintenance to avoid all those labor costs. Maybe you do choose the new car because you know that you're going to be really good with maintenance. Maybe you're already good with cars. So those could be 2 ways that you could lower your spending when you're purchasing the vehicle. So